In this video, I'm going to show you how to roll your own version of Unbounce or LeadPages without compromising any of the features, and it'll cost you a fraction of the price. Oh, one more thing, you get unlimited websites. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Dave from Profitable Tools, where I talk about software to help you grow your business. Now, if you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to click the notification bell to get notified when new reviews are posted. So today's video, we're talking about landing pages. They're everywhere. If you're running any paid traffic, you likely have to build out at least one, probably several custom landing pages for each ad campaign that you're running. And typically we turn to software tools like this. Up on the screen, I have Unbounce right here. You can see their pricing is $400 a month if you're enterprise level. This is basically going to give you 375 landing pages per month. It gets down a little bit cheaper, but we're still talking about $80 a month, and that's quite a substantial investment, especially if you're just getting started and you don't already have a lot of clients. There's other competitors out there. Another popular one is LeadPages, and it does a lot of the same features. You can see it has landing pages and pop-ups and alert bars, and their pricing is maybe a little bit less than Unbounce, but it's still not cheap. A single site is going to cost you $25 a month. 3 sites is $50 a month, and you can get up to 50 sites for $200 a month. So that's going to be a substantial part of the fees you're likely charging to your clients. So what if there was a better way that you could kind of have your own Unbounce type of service without having to spin up another version of WordPress each time you wanted to build out a landing page? Well, that's what this video is about. Today, we're talking about WP Landing Kit. This is a WordPress plugin. It doesn't run on a multi-site. It's a single site WordPress plugin that allows you to take any post or page and then redirect it to its own domain. How cool is that? So you'll be able to build out a billion different landing pages all on one website and then assign a custom domain to each one of them. Let me show you how it works. So I'm sure you're thinking, is this thing going to be hard to set up? Is it going to be hard to configure and use, hard to maintain? And I'll tell you, no, it is not. I'll show you exactly how to set it up from beginning to end in this video. And here is what we're going to build together. This is just a very simple WordPress site. I've got 2 landing pages on it right now, but I could certainly expand that to as many as I'd like. Right now, I've got a chiropractor landing page and a DJ landing page. And most importantly, they are mapped to their own URL. Let's go ahead and check out this chiro landing page right here. I'll actually hit view. And what I want you to do is watch the URL bar at the top. So right now we're on the clientamp.site website. And if I click view right here, you can see it actually opens up a brand new URL. So that one page is mapped to its own website. I got a beautiful landing page here for a chiropractor. Obviously, if I had customized it for a client, I could probably run paid traffic to this and get them a decent share of leads. This is amazing. Let me show you what you need to get set up. All right, to get started with our setup, let's gather our tools so you know everything you're in for. You can start thinking about how much this is going to cost, and it's not going to be free. However, once we get past the initial startup cost, running it on a monthly basis is going to be pennies compared to the more commercial alternatives. So let's get right into it. The one piece of software that is absolutely not optional is WP Landing Kit. I don't know of any other tools that is doing what this is doing right now, whether it's more expensive, less expensive, free, anything. Nothing out there does this feature. It's very reasonably priced. You can see it starts at $59, and you know what? That $59 plan is probably going to be fine for our purposes here. So let's go over to the pricing and I'll kind of walk you through the different options. So the $59 plan gives you 3 activations, but remember, you really only need to install this on one website and you can launch unlimited landing pages all from that same site. However, there are limits of server size, right? So if you're going to be running thousands and thousands of domains, you might want to scale up and have multiple servers. That just makes sense. And you can get a developer account for $159 a year, and that lets you add as many websites as you want. But I think for most people, this single option is going to be just fine. But if you are an LTD addict, for a limited time, they do have a lifetime deal. $259 gets you a lifetime of that developer account. So you'll get unlimited websites, unlimited updates, unlimited support forever. All right, moving on, you're going to need some kind of a landing page builder for WordPress. Now, if you've already got one, that's just fine. You can definitely use it. I want to recommend Elementor. It's the one that I use in our business, and it's just the most feature-packed, and it also has the most extensibility in terms of there are dozens of add-on packs available. So really, any type of design or style that you want to add, any features you want to add, there's probably someone out there who has built a Elementor widget that'll give you that functionality. You can use the free version of Elementor. Let me be clear here. You don't have to purchase anything. However, their pricing is very reasonable and it adds a ton of features. So with the Pro version of Elementor, the main features that are going to be important here is pop-ups as well as forms. So with pop-ups, of course, that's self-explanatory. That's one of the features that was in Unbounce, so we want to replicate that. But with forms, you'll be able to collect leads and send emails to your clients to let them know about new prospects for the landing pages you built. That's pretty critical. So I definitely recommend that. You can see that their pricing, again, fairly reasonable. $199 per year gets you 1,000 sites. And if you're already building websites for clients, chances are you have this. And so you don't need to buy anything extra. If you don't and you've never tried Elementor, I highly recommend it. There's 4 million people using Elementor now, so you're probably familiar with this. But for $49, that's going to suffice for this project. That's one site. As we just talked about, you really only need the one site. If you want to go up to 3 sites, that's $99 per year. So definitely consider Elementor Pro. I'll be using that in this video. Finally, you're going to need a theme for your WordPress website. Now, we're not going to be using much of the theme functionality. Astra is free, but I'm not actually going to recommend Astra here. I'm going to recommend Astra Agency, which is their suite of plugins, because it's going to give us a ton of features that we can use to build great landing pages and collect leads. So let's look at just a few of the tools that comes with Astra Agency. The first thing is their starter sites. Now, this is basically a collection of beautiful templates that you can import into Elementor. They actually support quite a few different browsers here. You can see, or not builders, excuse me. They support Beaver Builder, Brizzy, as well as Gutenberg, and this is what some of their templates look like. They're really, really beautiful. You might recognize this from my demo website. I've made a lot of videos using that template. Now, if you've ever seen any other videos on Astra starter sites, you might be thinking, yeah, we can't use that for this purpose, because when you import a site using Astra starter sites, it wipes out everything on the site, kind of takes over. Well, that's all changing with Starter Sites version 2.0, which is currently in beta. So I'll be looking at that in this video. So with the version 2.0 beta, we'll be able to drop in single landing pages right into a website without overriding the entire setting. So that's going to be really cool. With Astra Agency, you also get this add-on pack for Elementor, and it's one of the best add-on packs out there. They just released a really cool new widget I'll just talk about briefly. This is the FAQ widget. And if you've seen my course over on Skilljet, you'll know that I really like Schema. Schema is the language that search engines talk. So if your website is marked up with Schema, there's a better chance that your website will show up in one of those really cool looking rich snippets when someone types in a question. So the idea here is, of course, you create an FAQ, answer some popular questions that your clients are going to have, or your potential prospects are going to have as they look at your sales page. And then if they type them into Google, there's a decent chance that your landing page will show up if you've answered that question better than anyone else on the net. So this landing page widget, this FAQ widget is really, really nice because it builds out that schema language for you. And here's what it looks like. You have 2 different views. We can do the accordion style as well as the grid layout. Now with the accordion style, you kind of hover over, you click, and you can see it expands here. So really cool new widget. A ton of other widgets are included here. You can just see the list. You get a nav menu. That's not important. Login form. Some of this stuff is not going to be important for what we're doing, but there's form styling. There's a bunch of stuff that will really help you make those landing pages pop. And finally, the last tool that I'm going to be using in my setup is ConvertPro. Now, this duplicates a lot of the functionality of Elementor Pro, so it's definitely optional. You don't have to get Astra Agency to do a great job of this, but I really like ConvertPro. One, because it just has a different set of features than Elementor Pro, and it's a different approach to doing pop-ups and info bars. But 2, because it has a monstrous amount of integrations. You can see it works with a ton of the tools like Moosend, ConvertFox, Mautic, Sendy, ConvertKit is on here. I just did an integration with Constant Contact for a client. So there are a ton of integrations that work with ConvertPro. So if you're struggling to get things working, Elementor Pro does not have this many integrations. So if your tool of choice is not available, that's reason alone to pick ConvertPro. Finally, you're going to need some place for this website to live. We need a host, and I highly recommend going with Cloudways. It's what I'm going to be using this video. I'll show you how to set it up step by step on Cloudways. The reason is there are certain features that Cloudways provides that WP Landing Kit needs. So make sure that you choose one that worked with Landing Kit WP, or you just follow along with me and go with Cloudways. Now, I've been recommending Cloudways for years, and I even have a little coupon code I can provide you. So go to start a free trial, and then right down here, you can choose got a promo code. If you click on that and then just type in my name, one word, all lowercase, Dave Swift, you'll see it turns to a green checkbox. That's going to give you a $10 off voucher. So you'll get $10 off your first month's bill. That's going to be basically a free month. All right, so you got your copy of Landing Kit WP, you've got a server on Cloudways. Everything else is really optional. You can get by with the free version of Astra and Elementor if you don't want to invest at this time. So let's get going. Let me show you how to set up a server over on Cloudways. So the first thing you're going to do right here is select your application. We're going to choose WordPress version 5.3. I'll just call it LandingPages, and I'm going to give the server the same name. Then down here, we'll choose our cloud provider. Now I'm going to recommend going with Voucher just because I've had really good luck with Voucher and really for no other reason. AWS is great. Google Cloud Platform is also great. They're just a little bit more expensive. I don't have as much experience with Linode, but from my experience, DigitalOcean just tends to be flaky. It's kind of like choosing a hard drive brand. Everyone has their favorite. I really like Voucher, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to scale this down to 1 gigabyte. You can see this is going to be $11 a month. So if you use my voucher, you'll get that for basically $1 for your first month. So once we're done with that, we just have to choose a location. Choosing location is pretty simple. Just choose a location near your clients or the people visiting your clients. If you are a worldwide provider of services, maybe you have a software as a service or you're doing kind of online services, you can just choose a location that you feel is central and then use a CDN to reach everybody else in the world. All right, I'm going to hit this launch now button, and then this is going to take probably 5 to 7 minutes. They'll tell you a little bit longer up here. It says 13, but from my experience, it always gets done a little bit faster than that. All right, so our server has spun up here, and let's begin configuring things. So this is going to be very easy. I promise I won't get too technical. So I'm going to click on the actual server. That's going to open it up inside of Cloudways. Now, the first thing we need to do is map our domain to this server. So we need to tell some kind of URL. So in this case, I'm going to use clientamp.sites to go to this server. Now, remember, this domain isn't important. You can just use a subdomain of your primary domain. It doesn't have to be a brand new URL because you're just going to be mapping other domains to it anyway. So to begin here, what I need is this public IP. With Cloudways, they have a really nice interface. I can just copy it by clicking on it. Then I'm going to go over to Namecheap, where I've already got that clientamp.site website. I'm going to go over here to where it says Advanced DNS. Now, I'm using Namecheap because that's where we register our domains. You can certainly use whatever in fact, you have to use whatever you've already used to register your domain, however you're managing your DNS. It's probably GoDaddy or Namecheap or Hover or one of those types of services. Then you're going to go down to where it says Add a New Record. We're going to do an A record here. Let's give the @ symbol for the host, and then the value is going to equal the IP address that we just copy and pasted. So I'll paste that in, and let's go ahead and choose a fast time to live here. The fastest one I've got is 1 minute, and I'll hit the checkbox. While I'm here, I'm going to clean up any of these other extraneous websites that I don't need. I've got some redirection going on here. All right, so we've got our A record set up over here in Namecheap, directed at our server's IP address. Now we need to tell Cloudways what our URL is. So to do that, let's just click right up here where it says www. That's going to actually open up this applications dialog, and we can see the WordPress installation. From here, go down to the third option, which is domain management. For the primary domain, type in your URL. Now, once again, I'm using a root level domain. You could certainly use something like landingpages.yoursite or LP, whatever you like. Let's go ahead and hit save changes here. And one thing I like to do to make sure everything is working correctly is go to a website called whatsmydns.net. Here, I'll just paste in the URL. I'll leave this set to A record and hit search. Now, you can see here that my IP address has not populated yet because this is still directing to a 198 IP address, whereas over in Namecheap, I just changed it to be a 108. So I'll just have to wait a little while. There's really no way to speed this along, but you can always hit the search button again to see if anything's changed. All right, let's go ahead and hit search again. All right, I can see that the IP address is slowly starting to make its way across the globe. It's probably a 50% mix now of the old IP and the new. So for me, if I type the site name into the URL bar, it is taking me over to the new Cloudways server. So at least where I am, that has propagated. Now, if I have any sort of connectivity issues, it might just be that the propagation is still completing. So that'll resolve itself over the next few minutes, or maybe possibly up to an hour or two. I have heard cases of it going up to 24 hours, but typically this all happens nearly instantly. Now, the next thing we need to do before we actually set up the WordPress site is install an SSL certificate. Cloudways makes this very easy. Let's just go down here to where it says SSL Certificates, click on that, and then we're going to use Let's Encrypt. I'm going to enter my email address in here. I'll enter in the site name, and let's go ahead and install this certificate. While we're waiting here for this to work, I'll just say that the IP address must propagate before Let's Encrypt is going to issue the SSL certificate. If this fails, it just means that the propagation has not completed to wherever Let's Encrypt is located. So, all right, it looks like it was installed successfully. I'll go ahead and hit Enable HTTPS. That's basically just going to force all visitors of the website to go to a secure version. All right, now let's log into the back end of our WordPress website. To get the login information, it's already generated for you. Just go up to here where it says Access Details. Then you can click right here to go right to the WP admin section, and you'll probably want to copy the username and password before you hit that button. So let me just grab the password right here. I'll click this button to open up the site in a new tab, enter in my email address, which was the username, and then I'll paste in the password. And just like that, we should be logged into the back end of our new WordPress website that we're going to convert into a landing page monster. First things first, what I always do when I'm setting up a new WordPress website is go down to Settings, go over to Permalinks, and we're going to change this to Post Name right here. Hit Save Changes. Then we need to install our theme. Let's go up to Appearance and Themes. By default, we have the 2020 theme, and you know what? That might be okay because we're not really going to be using a lot of the theme features for the setup that I'm going to show you, but I always like to start off in a familiar place, and for me that is Astra. I'll hit Add New, just search for Astra, and watch out for this Astra impersonator. We don't want Astral, we want Astra. I'll hit Install and Activate. Now that is our theme. I usually go through and delete these manually. It's kind of a pain in the neck, and I wish WordPress had a better way to remove all of these pre-installed themes. Heading back over to the plugins, let's add the Elementor Page Builder. There it is. This is the free version. This is going to be just fine for us right now. I'll hit Install and Activate. Ooh, the site name is looking pretty ugly up here. That's going to drive me crazy. Let's go over to General and change that site name. All right, I've updated the site name, given it a tagline of Landing Pages Are Us. We're looking pretty good here. Let's hit Save Changes. All right, and through the magic of YouTube, I just went ahead and installed all of the tools we talked about in the initial setup. You can see here we've got Astra Pro installed. Breeze, this is the caching plugin that comes with Cloudways. I may or may not disable this in a little bit. We'll see if it gives us any trouble. We've got ConvertPro, Elementor Pro, Starter Templates, which is actually Astra Starter Sites. They've renamed the plugin for the version 2.0 beta. Then we've also got Ultimate Add-ons for Elementor, as well as, of course, the heart of the matter, WP Landing Kit. That is installed as well. So let's get started. Let's build out some landing pages, and then let's configure them to mapped domains. Let's go to it. We'll head over to Pages and hit Add New. I'm going to hit Edit with Elementor. And you can see now I have an Astra label right here. I can click on this, and I'm going to see all of the different Astra templates that are now included. You can see that some of the sites say agency in the corner and other ones don't say anything at all. The ones that don't say anything at all are totally free. Now, I think in order to get access to this beta plugin, you're going to need to have the agency version of Astra. So you won't be able to access that right now, but as soon as it's released to the public, you could grab some of these templates without having to pay at all. I'm going to go ahead and choose this disc jockey template right here. This looks really good. And you can see I have a choice of the different pages that are involved in this site. For now, I'm just working on landing pages, of course. So we'll go with the home page right here and hit Import Template. There we go. The template has now loaded into the site. There's one other thing I want to do, and that's get rid of this navigation at the top, right? I don't want to have that on a landing page. So to do that with Elementor, it's very easy. We'll just go down to Settings right here. And then instead of using the default page layout, I'm going to choose the Elementor Canvas layout. And when I do that, it's going to refresh here and get rid of that navigation. And you can see it's looking pretty good here. Let's go ahead and hit Publish. Head out to the WordPress dashboard. And I'm gonna give this a different slug right now. It's just Elementor number 13. Let's call this DJ landing page. And we can edit the slug right here. I'll click edit. We'll enter in DJ-page and we'll go ahead and hit update. And let's go ahead and preview this. All right, there we go. Looking pretty good. Now, one thing I'd want to do is for a landing page is obviously give someone a way to contact me. So let's add a contact form to this. I'll hit edit with Elementor at the top. And for this, I'm going to use the Elementor Pro form builder. Over on the left-hand side, I'm just going to type in form to find all of the form widgets. Here's one right here. I'll go ahead and drop this in. Now it's going to be full width and look really ugly, but don't worry, we'll take care of that in a second. So for this landing page, I'm thinking more in terms of like a wedding DJ and an event DJ. So I went ahead and removed a lot of the default content and just added a little opt-in form here so that people can reach out and contact and hire the DJ, find out about their availability. I've quickly styled this landing page. It's just as easy to use as any landing page builder out there. But what I can now do is actually have these emails go to my client. So if my client was DJ Faint and I want these emails to hit his inbox, well, there's just a couple things I need to do. The first one starts over at Cloudways. What I need to do is actually add an add-on to this server. So I'm going to go up to this little grid up here and I'll choose add-ons. And then I need to turn on Elastic Email. To do that, I can click the little pencil button over here and actually have to subscribe. Now, it's not expensive. 1,000 emails is 10 cents a month. But what this will do is allow your server to send emails to your clients. Now, typically, you could also do this with a WordPress plugin, but I really like the Elastic Email integration because now I don't have to worry about setting up anything. It's just one click right here, add the subscription, and then I never have to worry about it again. I don't have to do anything on the WordPress side. The emails will go out to my clients. All right, let's build another landing page here. Let's head back out to the dashboard and we'll hit add new under pages. Let's go ahead and open this up with Elementor. All right, let's add a template to this page. Now, instead of using Astra this time, although we could certainly grab another one, let's go ahead and choose this folder right here in the middle. Now, I do have Elementor Pro installed, which comes with its own huge range of templates. So between Astra and Elementor, I've got a lot of different landing pages to choose from. This time, let's go ahead and find maybe more of kind of a service-based industry. Here's a landing page for a chiropractic firm. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and import. All right, that's looking pretty good. Now we do need to make sure that we go ahead and change so we have this navigation bar hidden. So again, I'll click the gear right here and I'll choose the Elementor canvas layout and hit publish. Let's go ahead and open this on the front end to see what it looks like. It looks like this is probably going to open up a pop-up. So I want to see what that looks like. There we go. The page looks really good, nice and professional. We've got our phone number at the bottom. Now there is no opt-in field here. There is this button, but it's not assigned to do anything right now. So let's add a pop-up. Back in the WordPress dashboard, I'm going to go down to Elementor templates and choose pop-ups. Let's add a new pop-up. We'll call this opt-in form. We'll create a template. All right, so these are the different templates that I can choose from. Of course, I can start from scratch, but I'm going to go ahead and sort by categories here. And what I really want is kind of a classic pop-up that someone can fill out for this, chiropractic firm. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one just because it looks like it has an opt-in field already there. Obviously, the image is not appropriate, but we'll go ahead and insert here. All right, great. So this is what the pop-up will look like. It's nice and stylish. You can see it has kind of a radius on the side here with a little bit of a drop shadow. I like how that looks. Of course, I can customize it however I want. I can change the overall settings of where it's appearing on the page if I like over here in this gear icon. Obviously, I don't have time to do a full Elementor tutorial here. Just know that the pop-up features are fairly rich. Let's go ahead and publish this, and then we just need to kind of link up the two things, the landing page with the pop-up. So back over on the landing page, I'm going to click on the button, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit this looks like a stack, and I'm going to click on that and go down to where it says pop up under actions. And then if I click again, this is a little unintuitive. If I click again, the action is to open a pop-up, and I can go ahead and choose my pop-up here. Started typing in opt-in, and the opt-in form template shows up. Let's go ahead and update this and take a look on the back end. All right, let's click this, and sure enough, there the pop-in comes in. It even has a nice little animation to it. Again, I need to title this page just to keep track of things. We'll call this Cairo Landing, and let's give it the slug of Cairo, and we'll go ahead and hit update. All right, so building landing pages with WordPress and Elementor, fairly easy, especially when you start with a beautifully designed template. Now, how do we make these actually stand on their own and be their own landing pages with a custom domain assigned to each one of them? Well, that is where LandingKit WP comes in. Let's go down here to where it says domains, and then I'm going to hit add new. Let's enter in a domain here, and you know what? I'm actually going to use daveswift.com. And then I need to choose which page I map that to. Well, of course, I'm going to map that to to the DJ landing page. All right, and then I can choose a protocol that I want to use, and let's use HTTPS. All right, we'll go ahead and hit publish here. If I go to daveswift.com, I won't necessarily see this landing page. In fact, I definitely won't see this landing page. And that's because I haven't configured the domain to point at the server. And I also haven't told Cloudways that this is permissible, that we're willing to accept traffic from this domain. So 2 steps that I need to go through. And you know what? You'd have to do this even if you're using Unbounce or if you're using LeadPages or another competitor like that. You're still going to need to go through this setup process. So let's tell Cloudways about that domain. I'm inside of our landing page application under domain management. This is where we set up the clientamp.site primary domain. Well, now we're going to add an additional domain over here. I'll hit add domain, type in the domain name, go ahead and hit the checkbox right here. And now that domain has been added. The other thing I have to do is go over to the registrar and point it at the same IP address. So let's go ahead and grab that server IP again. I'm going to go ahead and click up here in the corner, the little picture of the server. Here is the IP. I'll click on it to copy it. We're back over in Namecheap here. We just need to add another record the same way we did before. I'll make an A record. I'll give it the @ symbol for the host, paste in the IP address, and we'll hit the check mark here. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of housekeeping, get rid of the other items. All right, now same drill. We have to wait for this to propagate, but once we do, daveswift.com should load that DJ landing page. It's really that easy. Now it looks like this propagated fairly quickly. Let's go ahead and check this out. Oh, you know what? I forgot one step. We got to add an SSL certificate for the new domain as well. So we'll go back over to Cloudways, head over to SSL certificate right here and hit add domain. Same deal as before. We just enter in the domain name, hit save changes. Let's Encrypt is going to issue the new SSL cert for our extra domain. There we go. That has been added. I bet if I am to refresh this page, it will now work. There we go. DJ Faint is now daveswift.com. I love it. All right, let's go ahead and map out our Cairo page. I'll hit add domain from the top right here, and I'll add in another URL that I happen to own. Doesn't work very well for a Cairo, but it'll have to do. We'll go ahead and type in our Cairo setting right here. Again, we'll enforce the HTTP protocol. And we just have a couple things to do to configure our server. Let's head over to our Namecheap settings. We'll add our DNS record in here. We'll do an A record with an @ symbol, paste in our IP address. Go ahead and hit the check mark right here. Then we'll jump back over to Cloudways, where of course we have to add our add-on domain. Let's do that right here. Hit the check mark. Let's save changes. Then of course we want to add our SSL cert. Let's go under SSL certificates, and you can see the 2 that we already have. Let's go ahead and add a 3rd one right here. Let's save changes again. Now this time I forgot to check to make sure everything had populated in terms of the IP address. So hopefully we are good to go. All right, it updated successfully. So if I head over to sonictriggers.com, that should load up our Cairo page. There we go. It's working perfectly. Now there's just a few more settings in WP Landing Kit I want to just talk about briefly here. This is located under Settings, WP Landing Kit. The first one under General Settings is Mappable Post Types. So if you create custom post types, those are going to be mappable as well. You can turn them on and off whether you want those post types to be available for a custom domain. So right now I just have pages but not posts. But if I want a blog post to be available, I could do that as well. Then post redirects. What this is going to do is automatically redirect if someone visits that original slug. So in the case of this website, clientamp.site/DJ landing page or whatever it was, that will automatically throw them over to daveswift.com. So that's what that is. I think that's a really cool feature. And then global domain settings, you can enforce the HTTPS protocol on a global setting level here. And I do highly recommend that because there's really no reason to have anything other than HTTPS websites in 2020. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you have learned something. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them down in the comments. All of the links for the software I have shown you how to use in this video will of course be in the description. Those will be the referral or affiliate links for this channel. So if you're going to go ahead and make a purchase, I'd greatly appreciate it if you click on that before you do so. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does give us a small commission over here at Profitable Tools. Helps us make more tutorials like this one. I will see you in the next review.